Hello and welcome to Conquer IIT JEE. Today we will learn how to make notes. In this video, I will cover 5 important points about making notes. Very first point about making notes would be about why notes making is important and what you should keep in mind while you make notes. Then I will cover 3 most powerful ways in which you can make notes. The third is the most powerful way on this planet to make notes, so watch out for it. And then in the end, we will cover some more important tips which can enhance your study sessions and enhance and improve your note making and make it a fun and enjoyable activity. So let's get started. You are not studying to make notes, you are making notes to enhance your study sessions. While we already know that the objective of a study session is to learn the concepts, but when we are making notes, our focus gets into making the notes more effectively. We try to override things, we try to cover each and everything which our teacher has told us. It should not be forgotten that grasping the logic is more important. So you just need to write down the summary of what was said. And notes should be written only to recall what you had done in the class or in a study session. It should not be made for some other purpose or rewriting a book. Now we will cover some important and powerful ways in which you can make notes. So for a short-term recall, let's first of all cover what short-term recall is. One of the most powerful way in which you can study and make your study sessions more effective is you recall whatever was done in a study session. A study session can be a session where your teacher taught you something, or you studied from a book, from a tutorial, or from elsewhere. So the most powerful way of studying is to immediately recall whatever you had studied, and then see if you could recall each and everything which was taught. If you're not able to recall everything, then you should refer back to your notes. Normally students go back home, just open their notebook and start reading from their notes. This gives them a false perception that they can recall whatever they had studied. But unless and until they give a genuine effort themselves, if they can recall each and everything, they would not have an effective retention of the information. Therefore, you should try to recall yourself without looking at notes, and notes should only be referred when you are not able to recall what was covered. This is the first way to do it. You can simply do it by making bullet points. So whatever was taught by your teacher, you can simply cover 3-4 minutes of it in one bullet point. Similarly, you can cover one particular paragraph in a book in one bullet point. Simply summarize whatever was said, whatever was important in that, and write that down. You might already be doing it while making notes, but it was important for you to know how to use it. You should not go back and start to look at your notes unless you could recall them yourself. Second important way to do it is a powerful method again to build a long-term memory. Now you need to have notes which you can refer immediately after class, but you also need to have notes which can help you recall each and everything that you had studied in a study session after a long time. So such bullet points may not be helpful in doing so. Thus, the another method that we recommend is making flashcards. So what flashcard is basically, there are two sides of a card. You can take a piece of paper or a cardboard. You can make it to a size of of any card which you can hold in your hand, and then on one side of it you write one side of the equation, on the other side of it you write the right side of the equation. And similarly you can write concepts on one side, and then meaning on the other side. You can write question on one side, answer on the other side. You can write reactants on one side, and then the products of those reactions on the other side. And then you can see one side of the card and try to recall what would be there on the other side of the card. You do it again and again, and you build up memory to for a long term retention. And then you can shuffle those cards. You should make a deck of cards for one particular topic. You can keep shuffling them so that all the concepts get mixed up, and even then you can recall each and everything. Now you may not be able to make flashcards while you are jotting down notes in the class, while you are learning the concepts in the class or learning the concepts through a book. This should be done separately. This should be a separate activity, but would be helpful in a long-term retention. Now third is the most powerful method on this world, and you will not find it at many places. So if there are interconnected concepts, how do you recall those interconnected concepts? And even if the concepts are not interconnected, then also you can do that. So the grid that you see on this slide is basically a chart paper. So you have to make notes on a chart paper. But how do you do that? You cannot take a chart paper to your class and start writing notes on such a big piece of paper. So basically you have to fold the chart paper in such a manner that you at one particular time when you're writing notes, you write the notes on just two faces of it. So I have numbered all the faces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can do so. You do not have to write such a big number. You can write on the corner, which is your page number 1, which is your page number 2, which is your page number 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And you should have one chart paper for one particular topic. Do not mix topics on a chart paper. And how you have to write notes is you have to take two phases. So you have to fold the chart paper in such a manner you can take to your class, and then you have to write notes on first and second phase initially. Once that is full, you can write on the third and fourth phase of the chart paper, and the chart paper would remain fold even when you are writing on third or fourth phase. Similarly, you can write on fifth, sixth phase, and seventh and eighth phase. Once the chart paper is full, most probably your topic would be covered. In case it is not covered, you can use the next side or the other side of your chart paper. Now how this essentially helps is you can simply open the chart paper, put it somewhere on the wall of your house, and you can look at the chart paper and see how concepts are getting connected. You will have the complete picture of a topic on one particular chart paper right in front of you, and you will not have to go through pages and go back and go forth to learn the concepts and see how they are connected. And second important benefit of this way of making notes is that you can take it in the class as well. You can directly make notes like you do usually. Third important benefit is that when you place it somewhere where you can see it regularly, your subconscious mind starts to catch that concept again and again repeatedly. And when that happens, your memory becomes very powerful. Your retention becomes very powerful. Now you will not only be able to memorize the concept, you will also be able to recall it when it is required in question solving. So that's our third powerful way. The fourth way, it's not the way actually, it's the tips that you can use to make your notes much more effective and fun and easier to jot down. So it is sometimes difficult because teachers go really fast and you may not get time to write notes. So to make it easy, just use signs. You can just use tick mark, question mark, heart if you really like something, high or low. You can just use arrows, you can use directly proportional or inversely proportional. If pressure increases, then temperature should also increase. They are directly proportional. You can just use the signs instead of writing that complete statement down. So I was talking about PV is equal to nRT equation. If you're not aware of it, that's okay. So that's the way of doing it. And the second very useful way is to associate some visual cues to what you study. So for example, there is one equation called P is equal to mv. P is pressure, P is momentum, and momentum is equal to mass into velocity. So this can be synonymous to, for momentum you need move. For international audiences, move is a well-known ointment in India. So for momentum you need move. If you remember the picture of move, you will never forget this equation. So you need to come up with such associations. You can come up with such associations after you are done with the class if you are not able to do that immediately when you are writing the notes. But this will help you associate a picture with whatever you have studied and will help you recall and retain faster. So in this way you can reduce the time you need to study. We had also made a video where we talked about how many hours to study for an exam. So you can shorten that time, and we talked about such effective ways of doing that in that video as well. So please do watch that video so that you have a better connect and better understanding of what we are trying to say. Also subscribe and comment on our channel. Please let us know what kind of videos you want to see, and subscribe so that you remain updated. Please like the video if you have liked it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching it. All the best.